Hey Shark Tank fans, I'm TJ and I host the Shark Tank podcast. You've never heard of it? Well, it's about time that you do. If you're one of the 8 million plus people who tune into Shark Tank every Friday, then you're going to love the Shark Tank podcast. Don't believe me? Check out these reviews. People who are saying, I love the podcast even more than the show. The reason for that is when I watch the show, I go and I chat with my entrepreneur friends, we ask questions, and I started thinking, man, that 8-minute segment we get leaves so much out. We don't know what the shark brings to the business. We don't know why they picked a deal with one shark over another. We don't know what they do to prepare for their airing. We don't know about what's working for their marketing, how they get into big box retail, what they're doing for analytics, etc. There's so much that I want to know. So I started a podcast and I bring on the best entrepreneurs from the show to come on and discuss with me and answer all the questions about what was left out when they air. Fast forward a year and a half, and it's become an incredibly successful platform with some of the most rabid and loyal, diehard Shark Tank fans anywhere. I hope you'll join me. I've actually got a link down there. It should say sharktankpodcast.net/iTunes. If you go there, that'll hit the iTunes page where you can subscribe. I hope you'll do that. The shows have always been free, and they always will be free. So it doesn't cost anything for you to listen. I do giveaways of product. We do special promotions, but I want to do a lot more. That's the reason you're here today. I've already interviewed over 100 of the best entrepreneurs from Shark Tank. I've also interviewed Lori Greiner, Barbara Corcoran, Marcus Lemonis, he's from The Profit. Hopefully you're checking out that show too. And Kevin O'Leary, my surrogate father, whom I love. I wish I had a test event on right now. I'd be wearing it. Anyway, I've got all these other ideas. I want to do YouTube reviews. I want to do more product giveaways. I want to do product reviews. I want to go on site and do a Beyond the Tank where I interview entrepreneurs in their facility, ask them questions from the audience, get a virtual tour, and really become the most incredible online podcast and platform anywhere for business. We've already got a lot of the pieces. What I don't have is the time, and that's why you're here. Patreon allows me to curry support and favor from you monetarily for doing what I love to do. Now, currently, I produce 1 episode per week. I'd like to up that. So if you can see below, there are milestones. The first one is YouTube reviews. If I hit a certain financial milestone, that frees up the time for me to do YouTube reviews and YouTube recaps. Now here's the thing, if you become a patron of the show, not only do you get to enjoy those, which you can do no matter who you are, you'll also have the opportunity to co-host with me, which I would love. I love talking about the show with fans and fellow business owners. You want to join me online and live in YouTube forever? That's fine. Let's do it. It's $1 a month. That's less than 25 cents per podcast. The next milestone, I'm going to double the amount of podcasts I do. You're going to get way more content, more interviews, more of all the good things you love about my show. The last milestone that's currently listed, although there will be more, is for me to do a miniature Beyond the Tank. I'm really excited. The show's about to come out. It hasn't come out yet. I think it's this weekend if you're watching this in the future. But I think that there are so many other entrepreneurs that you'd like to see inside their facility, get a peek of the inner workings of their business. And most especially, you get to participate, not only in choosing who those people are, but asking them questions, getting feedback, coming to monthly webinars. You can only do it in the future if you're a patron of the Shark Tank podcast. Now, if you're not sure, or if you don't trust me because I sound like a used car salesman, that's cool. Don't take my word for it. Listen to these people.
You got great questions. They're original, and it shows how hard you work because you gave it advanced thought, which TJ, I know it sounds like I'm blowing smoke up you know what, but I'm not. I'm telling you, most people don't give any of the questions any thought. They just get going, and they're all the same old questions, whereas you had really good ones.
This is Mr. Wonderful, and if you don't listen to the Shark Tank podcast, I will crush you like the cockroach you are.
Hi, this is Marcus Lemonis. You should be watching me on CNBC, but if you're not, you should be listening to the Shark Tank podcast.
This is Bobby Edwards with Squatty Potty. We did a deal with Lori Greiner on Shark Tank. I wish I had learned or listened to the Shark Tank podcast before going on Shark Tank. It would have been an invaluable resource for preparing for the show. Every entrepreneur should listen to the Shark Tank podcast.
Hey, this is Daniela from Ryan's Barkery that got a deal from Barbara on season 4 of Shark Tank. There is no better business podcast on iTunes than the Shark Tank podcast. We're not just participants, we're avid listeners.
Hi, this is Dave Allwin of Echo Valley Meats in Peoria, Illinois, and I was one of 2 entrepreneurs to ask to come back on the show for a second time, and am fortunate being the only entrepreneur that actually inked a deal with Mark Cuban. So if you've never listened to Shark Tank podcast and TJ, you have to start there even before thinking about filling out an application or whatever it is you want to do with Shark Tank or the show. Great resource, great guy. Lots of things you can learn talking and listening to his podcast with some of us people that have been on the show, some of the producers, some of the Sharks. It's just a well-rounded package, and I think everybody would absolutely love it. I was fortunate that I actually listened to him before I went on season 4 and did some homework on some of the Sharks and found out some of the things the entrepreneurs did do, didn't do. But obviously I still missed a few things because I didn't get a deal. I highly suggest listening to as many as you can. And all I can say is TJ's a rock star. He's got some really cool things happening. His podcasts are as professional as they get, and he's really a great guy and just really fun to deal with. So check out Shark Tank podcast for everybody. I guarantee you'll like it. Dave Alwyn with Echo Valley Meats. Thank you.
We are Aaron and Jenny from Hold Your Haunches, and we landed a deal with Barbara and Lori. We went into the tank fully prepared to snag a deal with the two savviest sharks, thanks in no small part to listening to and learning from every single Shark Tank podcast by the incomparable TJ Hale.
Hey guys and gals, this is Johnny Georges of the Tree TP, the Shark Tank, friend of the farmers, water conservation. The guy that says water is life and takes care of the farmers. Anyway, listen to TJ Hale and the Shark Tank podcast. It's wonderful. It's real. He's in touch with the entrepreneurs. He's in touch with the sharks, and he's giving you guys the real deal. So if you want to know what happens after the show and beyond, listen to TJ. He's the man, and I'm endorsing him personally, and I'm Farmer Johnny Georges himself.
Hi, this is Julie Boucher of Salsa, the condiment that will change your life from Shark Tank Season 5. If you're a fan of the show, you'll love the Shark Tank podcast. TJ tosses up the questions you only wish you could ask and will reveal all the juicy details that you didn't see from the show. So, when you're in need of your Shark Tank fix, binge on the Shark Tank podcast. Of course, when you're tired of boring, tasteless, unhealthy condiments, grab a jar of salsa.
Hi, this is Kelly Weaver from Purse Case. I got a deal with Lori Grenier on Season 5, and you must listen to the Shark Tank podcast. Not only is it the best resource for budding entrepreneurs, TJ is the most phenomenal host and will provide you with quirky, fun, and relatable ways that you can start, grow, or save your business. So listen in and subscribe.
So the milestones are listed below, as well as the pledge amounts. You can do $1, you can do $5, you can do $10, and they've all got a description for what you're going to get if you do that. That's more activity, more decision making, but most especially, it's going to allow me to create more content and more excitement for the best entrepreneur community anywhere in existence, the Shark Tank fan community. Thank you so much for checking it out. I hope you'll become a patron and support the show. And as always, I'll see you in the tank. Take care.